Hello, this is Alan McNabb, and we've just started broadcasting live with our Google Hangout. We appreciate you joining us today. Beth is with us live, and some others may join us later on. Also, the webinar will be archived after it's done. You can watch it on the Google Plus page for the Cloud for Small Business, and also on the YouTube page for the Cloud for Small Business. And I know it's a little confusing to learn how to get into the Google Hangouts. If you just go to the Google Plus page for the Cloud for Small Business, and you'll see beside my name, Alan McNabb, you'll see Add to Circles. And then when I see that before the next one, I will add you to our circle, and then invite you in to be live with us. There can be a total of 10 people, and so I can invite 9 people. Also, you can live chat as we go throughout the webinar. Today's webinar is an overview of the essential things for 2013 in regards to the web, a company's internet site, and just sort of giving you a heads up what's going to be going on, what to expect in 2013, and we'll give you just a little bit of information today, but we'll go into more detail as time goes on in the upcoming weeks. So you'll have some more detail, and we'll be able to help you in that regard. Also, as we begin these webinars, let me say that these webinars are for the executive, and so we're not going to do a lot of hands-on how do you do every little thing, but good information that every executive needs to know, and show you a few things. Some tools that you need to know about, either for yourself or for your staff, to make sure that they are staying on top of the things they need to stay on top of. And also, if you have a web designer or a SEO technician or engineer, anything such as that, that they are on top of what they need to be on top of. Because the last thing that you want is to find out there is some great big problem, and it's going to take months and months to straighten it up, or to get your page ranking back, or to be coming up with good search results. So these things will help you stay on top of that. So we're not going to take a lot of time with these, because we know as executives you're very busy. So we want to go on and get into what we're going to be talking about, and then let you get back to what you were doing. The first thing we're going to talk about is the style. What type of style should you be expecting? As I share my screen here just a little bit. What sort of style should you be expecting with your websites? Well, the minimalist style is going to continue, and I suspect through 2013, and also for quite some time after that. Especially with Google making their changes to their algorithm, with Panda and also with Penguin in 2012, I think the minimalist style is here to stay. And so the bulky sites with lots of images or rollover images and things like that, we're seeing those being replaced as much as possible with CSS, and that is the cascading style sheets. And so that we don't have all of the bulky images that try to drag down the performance of our websites. And as you analyze your website, if it's loading in under 2 seconds, and even quicker than that, if you can get it quicker than that, that's fantastic, because Google is also paying attention to the speed that your pages are loading. And also for the future, and this may not so much come into being with 2013, but also in the future, and we see it already starting. We see it already starting that what is called Web 3.0 is coming about. And that's where there's going to be less and less scrolling on the pages. Now let me share my screen here for just a second, and I want to show you an example of that. And here is Academi. I'm not sure how they pronounce the name, but this is the old Blackwater. And I want you to notice their website right here. This is a very large company. They are a private military company and the largest of the U.S. State Department's 3 private security contractors. So this is a very large company. I want you to notice what they're doing here. They've virtually eliminated the scrolling. You can scroll down a little bit. You see just a little bit, but basically when you go to their website, everything's right on the page. And so you've got some pictures. Pictures speak 1,000 words. And you've got some pictures. You've got a little bit of text. And you've got the navigation throughout the site. And that's basically it. And I think that's where things are going. Now, it's going to be interesting as to how Google is going to treat this site. I imagine it will be fine. Google, with the Panda algorithms in 2012, began to look at what is above the fold, and so we see that there's really no content here. There's just a little bit. There's some navigation, and so it's going to be interesting to see how Google treats this. Right now, they've got a page ranking of 5. And that's very good. And you click on this. We'll click on the About. You click on this, and you see then you have your text. And so I think it's going to be treated rather well. But I want us to see that this is probably the way things are going to be going in the future. And at least on the front page, the scrolling is pretty much going to be eliminated. All right, so minimalistic style is probably here to stay, at least for a little while. Now let's talk about something else for just a few moments, and let's talk about the dreaded CAPTCHA for a second. CAPTCHA seems like it is going away, and there may be some hesitancy with some companies to get rid of CAPTCHA because they don't want to be spammed. But the truth of the matter is, excuse me, the truth of the matter is now that companies are hiring people to work in third world countries, and they just sit at computers all day, and they don't care if there's CAPTCHA or not. They're going to spam you. They're going to send you email. So CAPTCHA really is not as effective as it used to be. As a matter of fact, we're seeing now with some large companies, even with their contact form, and even if they have CAPTCHA, below it they will have their email address. And so really, the CAPTCHA is not doing any good. But anybody could pick up the email address and spam them all day long. So the CAPTCHA is not really doing a whole lot anymore, and it's aggravating. It's a hassle. Maybe you're like me, and there may be some sites you go to and you just don't want to deal with it anymore. You've tried a few times, you don't want to deal with it anymore, and you just leave. And so CAPTCHA seems like it's going away. We have discontinued using CAPTCHA for the most part. We don't have it with our websites. Probably the bulk of our customers no longer have it. So that seems like it's going away. All right, for 2013, the executive, of course, needs to also think about the mobile web. This has drastically changed things, especially in 2012. In 2012, about 50% of the browsing is my mobile device. And so this has changed things significantly. And so as a result, what is happening is that we need to make sure that our web pages, that our websites are mobile enabled, so that someone comes with a mobile device, then they can see our page with the mobile device. Here I have an example of Our Town Plus. Now there's two ways that this is being dealt with right now. And as an executive, of course, you're going to be making the decision, how are we going to handle this? The first way is by what is called responsive design. And if you were to take a website and you were to make it skinny, I'll just make this skinny, and I'm going to move it over, make it smaller and smaller, and you see that it changed. That now, instead of having 2 columns, there are 1, and I can squeeze it on over, and it will get smaller, and it will readjust with its size. And so that's one way to do it. I don't know if that's the best way or not. These things are being worked out over time. When you use the responsive design, what happens is you take the things in the side columns, and usually they're moved to the bottom. Some responsive design may do something else with them. And so what has happened then is web designers are making the website that appears on a PC to be one big block a lot of times. the type is very, very large, and what they've basically done is take what will fit on a mobile device and just blow it up to be bigger. Well, that sort of defeats the point of having a PC. And so I don't know if responsive design is really the best way to go. Let me show you the other alternative, and as an executive, you're going to have to make up your mind. Here's one of our sites, Image Building Web Design. And I just wanted you to see what it looks like on a PC. And the route, well, we've got some sites that go either way. We've got some sites that go with the responsive design, such as this one. And then we've got some that go a different way, and that is when going there with a mobile device, they will change the template. And I think that, in a large degree, is the best way to go, because you can have one template that's used with a PC that has a good layout for a PC, and then if someone comes with a mobile device, then they see what is created to be on the mobile device. And it's smaller, it's created to be that way, it uses the space accordingly. So let me show you an example of that. Now, as executives, I suggest that you use this tool, whether it be you or some of your staff, someone accountable to you underneath you, that is accountable to you, that they use a tool to regularly view your site in as it would appear on a mobile device. Certainly they could pick up their mobile device and look at it, but I don't think anyone has all the mobile devices that are out there. So how do you know it works on all of them? Well, there is a very good tool, and it just happens to be free, and it's called the Opera Mobile Emulator, and I think I may even have kept this on my computer to be able to show it to you here. Yes, I did. Opera Mobile Emulator, and you can go to this website and just look it up on one of the search engines, Opera Mobile Emulator, and you can download it there. It is free, and it works very, very well. Now I want to switch screens here for just a second, and I want to show you this in action. I've got the Opera Mobile Emulator, and I'll just pull it up right here. And here's the image building web design. Remember, I showed that to you just a moment ago, and it was a very large site. It had a large header. It had things in the right hand. It had things on the page. And now, when you go there with a mobile device, this is what it looks like. It's a very simple mobile website. We have our name, imagebuildingwebdesign.com, up at the top. That could be an image if we wanted to, but we didn't want to drag it down too much because we've got the image below that. There's the phone number below that, and with a mobile device, you can touch that, and it would all automatically dial it for you. And below that, we have just a simple nav layout, and then we have the text running down through there, and this operates just like you would operate with a mobile device. And you can click on your links, make sure that they work properly. I'll click on Web Design, and there it comes up. So you see that page as it would appear on a mobile device. And then we can go back, and we can look at the other pages. So as executives, I encourage you to be using a device such as that, so that you or those who report to you are regularly checking to see what your website looks like on a mobile device. And with using the Opera Mobile Emulator, there are a lot of different devices there that you can see what it's going to look like. Now, it's not perfect. I'll just warn you about that. It's not perfect. If you see that there's a problem with one of the devices there, I would go out and check it on one of the real devices just to make sure, because it's just a tool. It's not perfect, but it is a very, very, very handy tool. So for executives, Web Essentials 2013, we have talked about the style, probably going to stay minimalist. CAPTCHA seems like it's going away. The mobile web is here to stay. And also, just like all the other years, there are going to be some changes with the browsers. What are some changes? Well, already designers are no longer, a lot of designers no longer designing for IE6, Internet Explorer 6, so it's going away. IE7 has stuck around so long because of XP, but XP seems like it's going away. A lot of companies are going to be upgrading with Windows 8, and so IE7 is probably going away. And I'm sure there's going to be other browsers to follow. So let me show you another tool that is free. And I'm going to share my screen once again. And this time we are going to go over to another web page. And this time Adobe Browser Lab. And you can get this. Just go to browserlab.adobe.com. browserlab.adobe.com. And this is a free tool. You just need an Adobe account. That is free. And then you can pull up any web page, yours or somebody else's. You see here, I just put in the imagebuildingwebdesign.com. I've got it set here to view two side by side. There are other views here that could be selected. I've got the two side by side. And then these will load up, and you can select the browsers to look at them. So I've got IE7. I've got IE8. If I want to check out IE9, I just select that, and it loads it in there. And there are others to check out. Also, pretty much the major browsers. And so this is very, very handy. Sometimes we find companies, and the executive hasn't really been on top of this like he ought to, and there'll be another browser that comes up. Might be IE8, IE9, and no one checks it. And so what happens? The website looks terrible. It's really not usable, and if it is usable, it's not anything you want your customers to go to, and simply they just don't know it. They don't know what's going on. And so, again, executives, we've given you a couple of very important tools. Opera Mobile Emulator to see what your site looks like on the mobile devices, and also browserlab.adobe.com to see what your website looks like in other browsers. And that's very important for you because unless you know there's a problem, you can't deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, that could be detrimental. Now, I don't want to take much more of your time, but I do want to address one more thing that's very important. And I know I'm throwing out a lot of information, and that's really the purpose of this webinar, is to give you just a good general overview. What do you need to be looking out for? What do you need to be on top of for the upcoming year? And we've talked about the style of the website. We've talked about CAPTCHA. We've talked about mobile web. We've talked about new browsers. Now, there's one more thing I want to just touch on a little bit, and we will be talking about this a lot more. There have been a lot of companies been hit very hard over the last 8 to 12 months because of the changes that have been made with the Google algorithms. And that's the Panda, as they call it, algorithm, and the Penguin algorithm. And I would suggest that you Google and follow Matt Cutts. And he's got a blog, and he's also got a YouTube channel. And we'll be talking more about him. I'll share information with you about that. But he gives great insight into what Google has done and what we should be doing as business owners to take advantage of where they are wanting to take the industry with their business. And of course, they're the 10,000-pound giant. They're the ones we have to sort of look at. What do we need to be doing to be positioned where we want to be? You know, Google could take the industry in a direction we may not personally like. We may not like the design that needs to be there in order to get the best ranking. We might not like absolutely what we think the websites are going to need to look like. But we need to do that so that we have the best ranking we can have. So Google, in 2012, Panda and Penguin. With Panda, in 2012, websites were downranked that provide a poor user experience. If it is a website with not a lot of content, If it's a website with a lot of pictures on the front page is just a bunch of pictures and just a little bit of content, they've probably got downgraded. If it's a website with a lot of advertisements, with a lot of banner ads, with a lot of things like that, they've probably been downgraded, because the way Google is thinking of it is, as a user, you don't want to go to a website and see that. You go to a website not to look at a bunch of pictures, but to learn something and to have a good experience and to have a reason to go back. And so they are downgrading sites such as this. Then, in April, I think it was April 24th, has been reported, Penguin came out. And the reason for that, and Matt Cutts is at the forefront of this, this is really his department, his baby, is to downgrade the sites that have spam links to them. In other words, someone who paid a company X amount of dollars to just give them 10,000 links, backlinks or something like that, they want to downgrade that. And so they are saying, okay, you just paid somebody to do that. This isn't sincere. This isn't really what people think, so we're going to downgrade you because of that. And that caused a lot of very large companies to have a serious downgrade. So we need to realize there's been a major shift in the industry, and as an executive in charge of directing where your company is going and how it is getting there, you certainly need to be on top of this. There has been a major focus. There's been a major focus, and I want to take just a moment here, and I want to get caught up with my PowerPoint here for just a second, and because I've got these things on there like that. Okay, so we've talked about the minimalist style. Panda and Penguin are affecting that. The CAPTCHA, the mobile web, and the new browsers, and now the convergence of design, SEO, and marketing. And it used to be you went out, you hired a designer, he made the site. You hired an SEO firm, and they got the SEO. You hired a marketing firm, and they did the marketing. You can't do that any longer because it's all tied together. Because Google, and really I'm thankful that they've done this, they are forcing the design to be what is in the best interest of the user. And so these tricks, SEO tricks that have been done, are no longer acceptable. You're going to be downgraded because of that. And so now this is what the focus has shifted to. Having a social media marketing strategy. And you may say, well, I've always had a social media marketing strategy. Yes, but here's the difference. Now Google is looking at that and rating your website based on your social media strategy. And whether or not you're successful with that, whether or not people are participating with that. And again, Matt Cutts is the fellow to be listening to, as he's the one talking about this. He's a Google engineer. And Penguin, the latest algorithms, that's his department. And also a content marketing strategy. Previously, it was a backlinks strategy. Pay a company to go get you a bunch of backlinks, and it didn't matter what kind of backlinks they were, whether they were any good or not, and you were good to go. It's not that way anymore. Backlinks are still important, but they have to be good backlinks, not spammed backlinks. And let me suggest to you, backlinks from highly rated websites. For us, if a website is not a PR 3 or higher, a page rank 3 or higher, we don't want to link from them. We want links from only the best websites. And Google has come out with some tools if you've got some bad backlinks to your site, to disavow those. And Matt Cutts also has explained the process of doing that. To first contact the company and ask them to remove the links, and if they do not, Google's got a tool that will let you eliminate that. So here is the newest thing, and as executives, you've got to really be on top of this to make sure your company is geared in this direction. With the content marketing strategy, content is king again, and that's the way it started out years ago, and then it got to all the SEO tricks. And now Google's wised up to that, so we're not going to accept those tricks. Content is king again. And so Google is seeking more and more to determine which sites are most valuable to users and to give those users a good experience with valuable information. That's what they're trying to do. Again, listen to Matt Cutts. That's what they're trying to do. So if you've got a website and you are not putting fresh content on there, especially on the front page, you're not going to have a good rating. That's just the way it is now. If you're not giving fresh content to your users, to the people coming to your site, then you're not going to have a good rating, because this is what Google realizes people want, and I believe it's what they want. That's why they're on the internet. That's why they're on websites. And so Google has taken the initiative to say, we're going to make sure this happens. Now, we as companies need to make sure that's what we are giving. A good experience, content rich, fresh content, and we will be rewarded. We will be rewarded for that. Well, I'm going to stop our webinar for now. I've got some free tools for you to use, and we'll cover those again later. I'll just tell you right now that Hootsuite is one of them, hootsuite.com, and SEOquake, SEOQUAKE, is also another one, and they are very important tools for you as executives to stay on top of what's going on with your companies, and to make sure that that your people are doing what they ought to be doing. So anyway, I'll leave you for now. I hope this has been profitable for you. 2013, minimalist style. CAPTCHA is going away. Mobile web, half of the browsing is mobile web. If you don't have a mobile-enabled website, you're losing potentially half the people. And content rich, marketing strategy, and also content strategy. Very important to all of us. Well, thanks for being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again. Tuesday at 9 o'clock is when we plan on doing our next webinar. Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for being with us today.